Just yesterday, they fired a 13-year veteran of the company in retaliation. This guy gave 13 years of his life to the company, and just like that...
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Speaking of the state not being our friend, Travis McCoy in the Facebook chat, steward of the letter carriers locally here, said Starbucks hired a former CIA and Pinkerton operative for a regional intelligence position back in March. And that story just came out. Did you see that, Adam?
No, that's news to me. So they're hiring
CIA and Pinkerton operatives.
Wow.
Crazy stuff. Absolutely crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's very disturbing and not at all surprising, but it is disturbing.
Let's hit a couple of these, a couple short updates.
Well, we've got Matt in the Zoom whenever you're ready for Matt.
Let's hit these just really quick. The Scottsboro update. Cause
absolutely.
I want to make sure that we get that the Scottsboro update, and then we'll bring Matt on. Folks remember that a week and a half ago or so, 2 workers were fired at the Scottsboro, Alabama Starbucks location. This is in the context of retaliation against working people at Starbucks all across the country. More Perfect Union has documented over 70 workers fired by Starbucks in retaliation across 20 states. We know these firings are in retaliation because of how absolutely stupid they are. In one case, a guy got fired because he was in the building too early. I have never been reprimanded for being too early on the job before. Just yesterday, they fired a 13-year veteran of the company in retaliation. This guy gave 13 years of his life to the company, and just like that, they cut him loose.
And there are folks who think that that's okay, who think that your boss should be allowed to do that without repercussion.
Like they owe nothing to you after you having given them 13 of the best years of your life. Spent most of your waking moments
you dare to
at
speak
work.
up, you dare to fight back, and your employment's yanked away from you. I really
absolutely crazy.
Wishing these workers all the best in the fights ahead, because I know something we've heard from some of our listeners is that we want to see the labor movement really rally behind these Starbucks workers as more and more folks are being fired, as stores are being closed. This is a pretty pivotal moment. It's pretty make or break.
They're also closing some stores and blaming crime with right-wingers' help and spreading that message, despite the workers at those stores not actually wanting them to close.
Right.
Which would, presumably be the point to protect the people under your employ. And these closings just so happen to have a much higher percentage of union stores than the general population.
Imagine that.
Very strange. 30% of these stores that they're closing are union, and only something like, is it 3% of their stores, if that, are unionized?
Right. Vastly disproportionate.
Vastly, whatever it is. They've got 9,000 stores and 200 that are unionized. So you do the math on that.
Right.
But the workers aren't, they're not taking these things lying down. They're taking them to court. They're striking. They're holding demonstrations to remind the bosses who makes the business run. And that brings me to last weekend, where we had, all told, about 40 or 50 community members from an array of organizations and over half a dozen unions come to support the Scottsboro Starbucks location. Let's put that picture up on the screen because it is really cool. Over half a dozen unions came to the Starbucks location in Scottsboro to show support for the workers there that are forming a union and have raised over $2,000 to support the workers who were fired during this time and the workers who are still employed there and potentially facing lost hours and retaliation. They've got a goal of $3,000, and you can donate if you haven't yet at bit.ly/Scottsboro-relief. That is bit.ly/Scottsboro-relief. And mark your calendars, folks, because we are going to be doing it again. We're going to be doing it again right before ballots are due. We will be meeting on Sunday, August 14th. Sunday, 14 August at noon at the Scottsboro Starbucks location on John T. Reed Parkway. So be there or be square. And one more request to put out into the ether. They're looking for a union hall in the Scottsboro area to watch the count from virtually from the NLRB. And I don't think there's a union hall in Scottsboro, but maybe some of y'all know one. Let me know if there is, and I'll pass it on. But I'm thinking, unfortunately, that the closest union hall is going to be the IBEW hall on Clinton Avenue in Huntsville, and that's a bit of a drive. So if anybody knows of a union hall closer to Scottsboro than that, please let me know so I can pass that on to them.
But it was fantastic to see folks from all these different organizations and unions coming together for a righteous cause, and I really enjoyed the conversations that we had there. Got a chance to talk with Joe Marshall in person, and that was fantastic. And really hope that it kind of lifted some spirits of these very brave workers at Starbucks. I'm just incredibly proud of what they're doing and how they're organizing.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.